theme.
Ooh,
and I was
cool.
like, well, this feels very like I feel extremely fancy walking through the subway system.
Once in a while, you'll get like a whole big string thing happening, which is cool. And there's this guy who like he lives off of my train somewhere, but once in a while I'll get on the train and he's just there with this like super long hair and this like upright bass or cello. I can't tell. I don't know. I think it's an upright bass, no, it's a cello. It's like an enormous fucking instrument.
Yeah.
And he's just like fucking rocking it out. Like it's very intense, like on the moving train. It's very impressive.
My favorite busker moment in New York, though, was at 14th Street.
There's always something.
Yeah, it was the 14th Street on the west side, though, like where you can catch the A. And we were waiting for that train, and there was a guy down there playing the trumpet. And he was, like, playing a few songs, and people were, like, nodding, not really paying a huge amount of attention. But then he starts playing the Harry Potter theme song, and I swear to God, like, 7 people step out of... It was a big crowd. 7 people step out of the crowd and drop money in his hat.
Oh, my God, that's amazing.
And I'm like, I bet he just waits till a new crowd comes every time and just, like, starts Harry Potter again.
The 14th Street F train usually has, like, a good... musician because they have like really good acoustics in one specific spot where it like echoes throughout.
I know exactly what spot you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in Central Park, I'm never like, I'm going to go see what the buskers have to offer. Like, it's not a thing. I will say I did once come across near the lake, there's that archway you can walk through to get to the lake on one side. And there was someone in there playing a violin, which was extremely fancy because that's already a pretty part of the park. And I was like, "Ooh, this is very nice." But like, it's not like a thing. Like in Nashville, yeah, you walk around and you're like, "I'm gonna go check out the busking talent." Like that's a legit big thing. But here, I'm like, it's not. Especially not like singers. Usually, you're walking around like maybe like I said,
it's like someone with an instrument.
But also, they're just like letting Jane loose on New York. I don't know. I feel like if my friend was coming to New York for the first time, like. I wouldn't be like, sure, run free.
I mean, she's just in the park.
Yeah, but they literally don't see her until, like, they come home without her, and they're not, like, worried.
True.
Like, why is no one worried about Jane's whereabouts?
Oh, yeah, that is a little weird. I didn't think about that, because I was like, oh, that didn't seem weird to me, but yeah, they do go home without her. I think it's
because we all live here. We're like, yeah, whatever, we'll meet later.
Well, I mean, I was Jane's age when I did my first internship here, and, well, I guess I was a little older, because it was after my first year of college.
I mean, I moved
but I'd also
here.
Visited here before that, I guess, too.
I mean, I moved here at Jane's age. I mean, she was here at the beginning of the summer, but I literally, like, in that timeline, I moved here, like, 2 months later and was by myself. But, like, I was starting college, and we rarely went, like, by ourselves places.
Yeah.
Like, I was not, like, brave enough to go out on my own very much until, like, a couple months after living here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because when you're 18, it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's like, I'm going to check out buskers.
And it's also before you had, like, maps on your phone. So.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I got lost so much in 2009, you guys.
I
can't even imagine. I'm glad I moved here after Google Maps on your phone was a thing.
I lived here for my first time over the summer in 2010. And I definitely planned every trip via my computer before I left the house. I was like, and then I turned this way and this way and this way.
Yeah, you guys, I spent like the latter half of 2009 just being like lost in various areas of Manhattan.
All right. Anyway, then Spinner's like checking out the damage at the dot, and Emma shows up for no reason.
Oh, wait, did we skip? Oh no, you're right.
And she's like, I'm so sorry. I came by to see if there was anything I could do. And Spinner's like, how about you go back in time and not burn down the dot?
And also tell Jane not to cheat on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, so sad.
Is this our first time meeting the owner of the dot?
No, I think we met him when Peter started above the dot.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that. Because I was like, oh, hello. Someone who, because like Spinner's been like called the boss so many times. And I'm like, he's like 19. Like, what's happening? Where's
he's just like the manager.
Yeah. So I was like kind of relieved to see that there's an actual owner.
Yeah. And that's kind of that whole scene. And then we cut to Jane like checking out the buskers who are kind of obnoxious. They're like, hey, give us money.
Oh no, They say, feed the case, it's hungry for cash. And then I threw up in my mouth because dumb.
And she does it.
She does. But then there's a puppy.
There's a puppy named Marley.
I would have liked the dude that comes with the puppy much better had the puppy appeared more.
Yeah.
That's the only time we see the puppy.
It's the last time we see the
puppy.
puppy.
And then this is when we meet George, the singer who has a band with a conveniently missing lead singer right before they're about to go on TV. And he's like, you should try out for us.
And he is 40 years old.
He is
so old.
And he kind of flirts with Jane in a way that I was like, this is uncomfortable.
You're so
but
old.
I also have a question about this, okay? And I even wrote this down. What lead singer, I don't care what kind of band drama you're having, what lead singer leaves the band after you've booked booked the major TV gig, but before you've gone on the TV?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I have no idea.
Like, who's like, I'm going to go solo now that we've booked the TV gig, but haven't actually done the TV gig?
I mean, we find out later that they dated, so she must have been mad enough at him to do that.
I guess so.
But
yeah, he's like, our lead singer left. I guess I know how No Doubt felt. I'm like, I don't think that's how that happened.
No.
It's not, because I'm pretty sure she's still technically with No Doubt whenever they do stuff.
She just did solo stuff for a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, she's dating Blake Shelton. It's
and
confusing. What happened to you, Gwen Stefani?
I feel like, looking back, Gwen Stefani was always problematic. We just didn't really know about it.
That's true.
Or we just didn't
she
realize
wore a bindi around.
Yeah. We excused a lot of things in the 90s.
Girls?
Oh, God.
My God.
She had a whole... Yeah, anyway. There's a lot of cultural appropriation.
I will still always love that one of the... I don't remember the name of the album, but one of the No Doubt albums from the 90s that I will forever love. So I can never hate her, but I'm also like, Gwen, just chill.
And 40-year-old man is named George, which just made me think of George in the Jungle. And then I was like, oh, and her name is Jane. They are literally George of the Jungle and Jane. Me, George, you, Jane.
Are you, like, mixing up Tarzan and
Yeah,
George of the
you
Jungle?
are. I was about to
I
say, the woman in George of the Jungle
was
not...
Ursula.
Yeah, it was Ursula.
Why would I remember that? I don't know.
It's
the same
well,
exact
the same
thing.
idea.
It's literally the same thing. There's no
like,
fucking at me. There's no fucking difference between George of the Jungle and Tarzan. It's the same shit.
Except George of the Jungle.
Brendan Fraser.
That's
loincloth.
true. But also, except George of the Jungle is really
making fun of
it. Kind of, but also it's real bad.
Oh,
it's
not good.
I loved George of the Jungle as a kid, and then I tried to rewatch it like in high school, and I was like, why did I like
one
this
just has
movie?
a Phil Collins score, and one does not.
Either way, both bananas.
And then she's like, all right, cool, I'll try out. How will I know your songs, though? And he's like, MySpace.
MySpace was...
Which is valid.
And valid. Also, he just says, find us at the club on 14th Street, which is way too fucking vague, unless the place is named The Club.
I was about to say, is the place named The Club? Because...
If it's named...
14th Street is huge.
Yeah.
It stretches all from one side of Manhattan to the other side of Manhattan.
It's also a very major street, so it's not even like... It's like, it's a main...
Yeah.
It's, stupid.
Nope, it's dumb. And then we're with Declan and Fiona and Holly J. They, like, get back, and Declan is like, Holly J, and I have reservations for dessert at this place. She's like, and Fiona's like, great, that sounds cool. And he's like, reservations for 2. And I'm like, stop being weirdly jealous about your brother.
And then she says, j'adore the cheesecake. And I'm like, ew, I hate this. I hate you. You're, like, grossing me out.
He's like, Holly J's been excited about this. Like, we're going on a date. Sorry. And then the next day, Holly J starts her internship, and she runs into Jay Manuel from America's Next Top Model outside because he likes her shoes. And she's like, oh, great, I'm starting my internship here with Kristen, whatever. He's like, oh, no, like, good luck with that.
Don't breathe through your mouth.
Yeah. He gives her some advice, and he's like, bye. I'm like, all right, bye, Jay.
Bye, weird cameo.
Yeah, first of many. And...
Holly J meets Kristen, who is our
predictably difficult host of TRL.
Who she's basically just the lady that Paige was working for in Hollywood. Like, it's the exact same character, essentially.
But, like, with the slightly more status, because she actually has, like, this gig, whereas that actress seemed like she was a reality star trying to, like, be something.
Also, Holly J is like, did you see my demo reel? And I'm like, oh my god, Holly J, you're a senior in high school.
You're not
even a senior yet. No one cares.
Like, Holly J doesn't understand how internships work.
On Degrassi, the number of people who get internships and think that means they're, like, have an official, like, job or they're going to be on camera and stuff. I'm like, does no one tell you guys what an internship is? Yeah. This is not how this world works.
No.
But the show even acts like they're justified in being upset that they're having to go get coffee. I'm like, that's what an internship is.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
To be fair, I never made my intern get me coffee once.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever actually had to get coffee.
I was going to say, when I was doing internships, I never had to get coffee, but I was 100% not doing any of the main stuff. Like,
do all the bitch work.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely made her, like, clean out the prop closet. Like you do the bitch work.
Like, in journalism, you transcribe people's interviews. You, like, do the research for other people's articles that they're writing. Like, no, that's all.
You do the stuff Holly J is doing.
Sometimes you run
minus
errands.
the banana.
Yeah. I make our interns run errands all the time. Anyway, she's there, and then Fiona is like, oh, guess what? Fiona's going to be working here too. I guess she's an intern now.
Well, and
nepotism is too real.
Apparently she knows Kristen too, because earlier on she's like, I owe her a call.
Yeah, because like socialite stuff. And yeah, Fiona, like, gets an internship, too, because she's like, the Cohen name opens a lot of doors.
Which, like, ew, why are you proud of that?
Yeah. Also, I literally wrote, no, really, Fiona gets better.
But I was like, this nepotism is too real, though, because that definitely happens. And then Jane shows up to the audition, and George calls her sassy, which I hated.
Yeah.
Are they trying to make us think he's younger than he is? Because it's never addressed that he's clearly an adult.
So old.
Like,
he even later says, like, I moved here when I was 18. It's like, all right, well, we know you're clearly not 18 anymore. How old are you?
Is the show trying to make us
37.
think he's clearly in his 30s? But like, so when I first got over here to record, I even asked, like, the first thing I asked Kelsey and Holland was, the guy who plays George is clearly 30, right? It's not just me having a blind moment and, like, thinking his voice makes him sound older than he is. And they're like, no, he is an adult.
He's old.
And
I was like,
wrinkles.
Okay.
I would argue he's, like, 40.
Because I was deeply uncomfortable with some of the way he talked to Jane.
Or just a lived in 30 something.
That's a good point. He is in a band.
True life.
It was weird.
And then she tries out, and she's like, she's just facing the band and singing, and it's like,
she's
fine.
Whatever. The song is
It's
bad.
boring.
It's boring.
Good.
Okay.
Kind of pretentious.
It is kind of pretentious. So I liked some of the lyrics. There were a couple lines I was like, oh, that's a good lyric. That's a good lyric. But I actually wrote, again, this feels very pop to me. This does not sound like an indie band, like a cool new indie band. It sounds like it's a pop song. It's a pop song with a little bit of a pretension.
Yeah, and it's like playing over, and we kind of, while she's singing it, we see Spinner like sad in his Chandler Bing stripy robe. And he's like throwing away all of his like Jane stuff in a box, and he's just being a sad boy.
Well, because the lyrics are something like, it's here today, gone today. And I'm like, that's not the saying, first off, which bothers me. But like, there are a couple of like cool lines that sound like it's just about like walking around and exploring the place that you're living. I'm like, oh, some of these lines are pretty. And then I'm like, how did they get to here today, gone today, and Spinner throwing things away? And I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
I was like, you're writing your own song.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so the audition happens, and then we go to the Met steps, which is very Gossip Girl, and Declan and Holly J are hanging out, and I think Declan is defending Fiona because Holly J is like, it's weird that she works with me now. Like, how is this happening? And she's like, she just wants something to do. You guys like need to get along. And I'm like, ugh, okay, whatever. And then this is when Jane like runs over and she's like, guess what? I'm the singer for Flashing Midnight now, which is a weird name for a band.
Yeah, and apparently she is going to be on TVM on Friday, and so they're all freaking out like, yay!
Right, because the TV gig that they booked was for TVM.
And Declan
How convenient.
Declan just smiles and looks up at this guy and goes, I love New York. And I just wrote, me too, Declan, but this is not how New York works.
Not at all, but he just had like the sweetest face.
It reminded me of that scene in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when they walk into the tent and Harry's like, I love magic.
Yes.
It's adorable. Also, can we just, like, how is Jane going to go to Stanford and also join this indie band?
Well, that comes up later.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next day, this is when Holly, Jay, and Fiona are wearing their weird fancy dresses to the internship.
Oh, well, first off, Holly, Jay, and Declan, like, come out of his bedroom late, and they're like, we overslept, and Fiona's like, yeah, okay.
Sure, overslept.